This is iLLANOiZE Radio with Bekoe, Illinois Jones, and Pretty Riot going down right now.
Y'all already know what it is, man. It's iLLANOiZE Radio, Chicago's most valuable radio show. I'm your host, Bekoe, alongside my brother, Illinois Jones. And as always, we bring you all the illest guests from around the city and globe.
Yes.
And today we got our brethren Ausar is in the building.
What's up, my dude?
What's going on,
What's up, Slide? What it do?
Happy to be here.
Man,
Yes, sir.
Happy
Long
to have
time
you
coming.
here.
Indeed.
You know, it's been a lot changed
Lot.
since you done
Booty
came
patience.
in here.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's real nice in here. Also,
The real
let me just say.
Real spiffy, man. Yeah, it feels good to have you back, my brother. It's been a while. Last time you was here, you went viral.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was our first viral moment.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go.
You feel me?
sir.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Yes,
That's still one of the classic ill styles ever dropped in here.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's just it's literally just a reflection of the platform that y'all have built and given to the artists around the city to be able to do stuff like that. Like that's all y'all. So thank you.
How was it experiencing a viral moment like that for you?
It was interesting. I feel like, you know, a lot of the times as creatives, you just kind of do stuff and you keep your head down and you work. And you don't really get caught up in like who may be watching or who isn't, et cetera, et cetera. And then the moment that something happens, it's just like, where did all these eyes come from?
Right.
Who are you people?
Like they watching me.
Yeah. So
Who sent you?
yeah, so it was really, really fire. I you know what I'm saying, came up here and did
did
what
your thing.
You know what I'm saying?
You did
So
that.
to know that people resonated with it, it was really dope.
That's what we do it
Did you,
for.
did you got a retweet from White Clef? White Clef posted on his page.
Indeed, he did.
I was
Shout out
like,
to
yo,
Uncle Clef.
White.
And then I mean, you and Wyclef did work before that.
Yeah, Wyclef is and has been a mentor of mine, and has been very supportive. Like I've had conversations with him, even toward the beginning of, not necessarily of this album, but when we were still figuring out where we wanted to go, I would have conversations with him about like some of the stuff that I was working on, and I would play him demos and stuff like that. So yeah.
Speaking of play demos, let's take it back to this listening party at Promontory, my brother. First and foremost, like, why did you choose the Promontory to be the location for the debut album listening party?
So realistically, we experimented with a couple of different spots that we were looking at, right? I think one thing that I really wanted was a spot that just was very inclusive and could really hold the amount of people that I thought would pull up, right? I was like, okay, well, if we book Promontory, they have a really, really decent cap, so we should be able to get everybody in there, right?
That was an underestimate.
We made it work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it was a bit of an underestimate even still, because I did have a couple of homies who hit me later and were like, hey, they did not let us in. Like,
What?
they said that we were over capacity and they were turning us away at the door.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it sucked for them. But
It did. But we told them to be on time. We did.
Listen, so because when I walked in, it was no walking space, right? Like you got everybody in the front sitting down, but then it's like hella people in the back just standing up. You got hella people on the sides. This is not a party. This is not a performance. This is a Q&A listening party.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel that all that love was in the building like that?
For you.
For you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to you if I was not on stage, if I said I wasn't on stage, like holding back tears at moments, just being all the way real. To know that many people pulled up to come out and support and just be there and show love for something that I worked on with the homies. People who came to support the dream that I have and have enough faith in the movement that we have to be like, I need to be here for this and to see it just as important as I see it.
Right.
That's incredible, bro. Man. Like that really resonated with me. And I think out of everything that's happened for this album so far, that's been the most meaningful moment for me. Just like having pretty much anybody who I love was in that room. people who I haven't seen in years since I done graduated high school. My godparents, this is the first time they've ever come to anything music related for me. They were front row. My godmother cried. Like this was a lot for me.
Dang. I mean, what flashes most in your brain from that night?
My dad being on stage, because that was a surprise to me. I didn't know that was happening.
That was the first time I think we all saw your pops, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Your mom too.
Yeah, she was sitting off in the corner. But just seeing people's faces while they were listening to the album, seeing people's reactions, and I don't know, just being able to bask in that moment with everybody, and having all the people who worked on it, who were around, be on stage with me to celebrate with me, like that was crazy.
That was dope.
Beautiful.
Was it anybody reaction that you was looking at to see how they would react to certain songs?
My mama.
Why your mama?
Because for certain, I come from a very traditionally Christian background, as everybody who knows me knows very well. And so there's a lot of stuff that I put in my music that I may not go talk to nobody else about. So for certain songs, I'm just looking up at my mama like, how you gonna react to this? But no, my mama didn't say nothing other than the fact that she was proud. Okay. Like, she was just like, I can hear the growth. I can hear all the work you put in. I am proud of you.
So was that their first time hearing the album as well?
Oh yeah.
That was the first time hearing their voicemails too.
My mom, it was not only because on the outro, that's actually my stepfather singing in the background, and so she came to that studio session. So she heard her voicemail. My dad, he didn't hear nothing until he actually was there.
That was him in the back. What's about? You ate my chicken?
Yep.
You ate my chicken. It's okay, baby. No. That was hilarious.
Yeah, we held on to that one. I was very excited for him to hear that.
Look, I don't think people gonna be scared to call your phone now, brother.
Hey, yo, that one girl say, whatever you do, don't use this for a song. Too late.
Yeah, most people who were using them voicemails did not hear it until the songs came out. Like List, my homie Chachi is on that at the end of it, and she didn't hear that until the song came out.
Okay.
That one, the one where that was my homie Lola, who was like, "And you better not use this in no song." After I recorded it, I sent it to her. Like, yeah, you're getting used.
Yeah, you got this.
Yeah.
We're going to tap into a quick music break, man. I know I heard you talk about Spoiled a little bit. This is on the I Now Know album, in which you see this beautiful pamphlet right here. I'm trying to advertise the best way I can.
Indeed, created by Will Golf.
The brother Will Golf is in the building, and he, man, look,
hey, listen,
he cooked some things.
Yo, shout out to Will for that. He took me back
God.
to when I opened up my first CD that I ever brought, which was Trap Music and the Truth. And going through those booklets, and that's what I felt like reading that, man. Yeah. Salute, bruh.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl Pretty Riot, and I'm sitting pretty, starting riots right here on Illinois.
I'm gonna let you finish, but did you tell them to listen to iLLANOiZE Radio?
Every Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m.
Well, I was getting to that, but y'all made a point, so I hope y'all tune in.
Do that.
Wow.
On this album, many of your songs albums I heard, but this one, it feel like you mastered to articulate your true feelings and emotions in every song. And in the song we just played, Spoiled Rotten, you talk a lot about ego and how sometimes when having conversations, or certain times you get into debates with friends and family members, you normally, to keep your peace, you'll cut them off and be like I'm not messing with y'all no more. It's just off of this one conversation, we're not rocking. Have you ever went back to mend some of those relationships?
Absolutely. What I learned through this process, and what I've been learning just in like getting older, is you have to understand what and who's important to you, right? Like, you lose out on a lot of people who you really, really care about when you can't put ego to the side. You lose out on a lot of opportunities, a lot of relationships. And I had to come to terms with the fact that I'm not always right. Like, it's just not realistic. You feel me? And understand that sometimes you got to put yourself in uncomfortable positions to get to the next step, right?
Right.
Like those conversations not going to always be comfortable, especially if you were in the wrong from jump. So yeah, absolutely. To answer your question,
I think when listening to that song was you admitting to being wrong, and hopefully those people heard that song.
In some cases, yeah, absolutely. I think there have also been cases where like I may not have been in the wrong, but the situation didn't call for my reaction.
Right.
Like I could have definitely had smaller conversations to just rectify like why my feelings were hurt or why I felt the way I did, right? Because sometimes people may not even know. Like people can hurt your feelings and not know that we even at odds and I done removed myself.
Right.
And you just like,
What happened? What's going on?
But in certain terms where in this album and on certain songs where ego is a good thing and ego could be a bad thing.
And speaking of ego, like, was there ever a time you had to tame your own ego?
absolutely. Absolutely. There are, I think doing what it is I do with music and with the message that I want to portray, it takes ego death every day. Like, I think as I continue to grow in my craft and more accolades come and more people view me in a different light, it's very easy to go, I got this. When in actuality, one, I only view myself as a vessel. Like I'm here because God wants me here and because he deems me appropriate to be able to carry a message forward. That's first and foremost. Secondly, like this is not about me. It's incredible that people resonate with the message that I'm putting out, but like what am I doing if I'm not using the platform for anything? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all the accolades and regards are very minuscule compared to that. So it requires ego death every day.
I mean, I'm trying to, because even though you have these, like, you don't let your ego get in your way, but as an artist, you know, it's a competitive sport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to let your ego off the leash.
Yeah, you gotta let that thing fly.
And I know, and it's when
Yep.
where you say, you know, you the greatest, but you couldn't say that at first because you felt like you didn't have the resume to say it. But now, I'm that.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I feel. I think a lot of times we hide behind bravado to hide our deficits, right?
Retweet.
You feel me? I think I finally gotten to a place of self-assurance enough where I don't need that. Where I'm just confident enough in my own ability and the work that I put in, not looking for the applause from people around me to show me that I'm great. I know I'm great. And I think even when you look at the album cover, right? One of the things that me and Will talked about even when we were ideating on the cover is like, it's me straight-faced in a sea of accolades essentially. And what it's supposed to depict is like having everything that you wanted to your avail, but not necessarily being happy with just the accolades. Like this album was me talking about all the internal growth that it took for me to finally get to a place where I'm accepting of me. And that didn't do it. Like all the things that came with people just saying, hey, you got it, that didn't do it. It took the work.
And the work ethic behind putting the album together in a way is what you're saying?
Yeah, in a sense, like all the internal work, all the things that I talk about throughout the album, like me talking about how I did have to kill ego, me talking about how I had to get comfortable with understanding that like just because I want to bask in me being great doesn't mean that I'm getting overzealous or overconfident. Like I can be confident in the gifts that I have. Me talking about the places where I fell short and being okay with that and understanding that I'm moving forward from it. Like all of that is finally what gets me to a point where I now know. Like I now know what it takes.
Was this therapy?
Yeah, in a lot of ways. It was work. It was work.
Was it 6 years of work? 5, 6?
In a roundabout way, yes. The album itself, from start to finish, we worked on for about a year and a half, right? But I think everything we did in the 6-year gap where I was working on an album is what led to this. Like all of that growth, all of those conversations that I had, even the pivot to even get to this album, I think I had to do all the work prior to get to that pivot.
let's not forget you had to do some rework as well because there was an album before this album.
Yes, there was.
David, right?
Yeah, the album that shall not be named.
My bad.
But I do want to speak on that a little bit because
for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's a lot of songs that I'm pretty sure we'll never hear.
Because there are hundreds of songs.
See, and what is it? Is it also features on these songs that we would probably? Damn, man.
So why? So listen here, because I can't. Because to hear that, to hear this album, I could only imagine what David sounds like.
David, it's crazy because me and Ro a few weeks ago went back and listened to some of those demos, and they're not bad. They're not bad at all.
I bet they're not
at all.
You know what?
If y'all can see if y'all can see Will's face in the back, you feel me? It's like a pitcher and an umpire not agreeing with each other.
They weren't bad at all, bro. Like, I think the only issue was that they just didn't portray where I was as a person or as an artist anymore. But going back and listening to those, I was like, he's kind of hard.
But are you really gonna like waste them? I mean, that's because that's still work too that you went through. You could,
yeah.
Damn, you did.
I mean, they exist. There are like 2 or 3 songs that may make it off of the chopping block at some point.
Like a single?
One of them is for sure not going to be a single, but one of them that I would consider letting out of the vault is a joint that I actually had with Chris Patrick.
Okay.
It's this joint that we had called Legacy. And that joint was crazy.
Yo, anytime y'all partner up, you, Chris, Dende, it's just like voila, just straight magic, man.
Those are my guys, man. I attribute a lot of the growth I even had over the past few years to me linking up with them too. Like me and Will talk about this all the time, but I'm very much a reflection of who I've been around. So like if people around me are pushing me to elevate, I do it, and I do it in like some relative quickness, because I love being able to learn. I love being able to progress, like, and being around them.
I listen, but listen, you and Dende and Chris, I feel like, what would it be like if y'all just sat in the studio for like a week? I just want to be a fly on the wall.
I can tell you. I mean,
listen. You could play some exclusives if you want.
I mean, to be real with you, there was a period in time where me, Chris, and Dende worked a lot together. Like, no joke, me and Chris probably have 20 to 30 records just like sitting. Me and Dende, not as much. Me and Dende probably have like 5 to 10 floating in a cloud somewhere.
They classics too.
Yeah, some of them
I bet they hard. He say some of them, but he don't want to say all of them. Like, we got some shit.
Yeah, I mean, some of them.
Can I be your angry translator? Like when you just want to say certain things,
when you want to use profanity,
when you want to, let me just be your translator. Let me be that for you. You feel me? Cause y'all got some shit. We got some shit. We got some shit on deck. I don't wanna put this shit out and fuck up nobody's moves, but I could drop some shit and fuck up the motherfucking process some of y'all artists got going on. If you ever need me, just let me know. I'm gonna be there. I'll be your translator.
You got it.
Oh my God. We finna jump into a music break, man. I got wind loaded up.
Hey.
Whew.
My brother.
You want to know something crazy?
Yes,
I
do.
And everybody's going to jump me. That almost didn't make the project.
Wow.
Why?
So here's what happened. Ro made that beat, and he sent it to me. I had written to it. That's a different feel for me. Usually when it's a different feel, I never really know. Like, I can't gauge how it sounds. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kind of experimenting. So I wrote it and never said anything. Tree comes into town. Tree hears the beat, and he's playing it for him, and I was like, oh, I wrote a verse to this. Ro was like, word, let me hear it. And I spit it for them, and they were just like, go record that now.
Exactly.
So I recorded it, got out the booth. Tree sitting there. He was like, you mind if I'm like, no.
Go ahead.
Bro, he freestyled that in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he was here a little minute ago, and he told us he don't write no more. He said it's up here.
Yep.
How much of post-production went into that song?
Oh, that song?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. the post-production process in general for this album was long, but that, I think we got who all is on there? I know Nico the Great came through and laced us, and I think he put Sense on there. I know we had D Noel come through and lay keys. I know Ro went back through and added more even after we had gotten done, because we reworked the whole second half of that song. Because even the way Meech's verse is layered when that beat switches is not how he originally laid it. So he resequenced that. Like, it was very well involved.
Man,
You
look,
can hear it.
Yeah.
and y'all finna hear right here, right now, man. Here's Win, Ausar, Tri Nohbi, off his debut album, I Now Know, right here on iLLANOiZE Radio.
Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Right, and I need you to do one sminy. Yo, what's up? It's your girl, Pretty Riot, and I just need you to do one small favor for me. Head on over to your app store, search iLLANOiZE. Hit the first thing that pops up, because we the one and only, and download the iLLANOiZE app.
Like, man, my brother, the album, I mean, you gave me a chance to hear it a while ago.
I was so
And it's
jealous.
but
I was so
But that's the
jealous.
thing. Don't be. Because everything he played me then was nothing now.
Listen,
Okay?
I was still jealous. Oh, I don't care. You got an early exclusive, okay? Dude, you don't know where I just left. Roll just played me the whole Ausar album. Oh, really? This was about March.
Jones, you feel me? You know you always welcome to pull
It's
up.
cool, yeah, but I ain't him first. You know, he called my phone, driving. You hear he got the Jeep thing. You can hear the engine. That was wrong. So y'all got him driving all fast and shit.
Well, I was all the way up north. I had to get back over to certain destinations. But I mean, in general, let's talk about the process, because
sure.
my brother, 6-year process. You just broke down how that. What song was that we had played?
When.
When. You broke down like how that song alone was a process. I mean, from the keys to the reworking it. I'm pretty sure you probably recorded 2 or 3 songs before you even recorded When.
Yeah.
So, at all, did working on this album get overwhelming to where you yourself wanted to damn near give up?
Yes. The answer is yes. I tell Ro all the time, Ro is the one who finished this album. I toward the end of it, when we got to the mixing and mastering phase, this album was so emotionally draining and so intense that I didn't have nothing left. Like, Ro was the one who kind of dragged this through to the finish line. It was sessions where I came in there and Ro mixing, I don't have no notes. Like, bro, whatever you feel for the day is what we doing. And Ro, as the executive producer, like, he understood the vision of everything I wanted so well that I didn't have to tell Ro anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were just that in sync. But yeah, bro, if I didn't have Ro,
You don't
I don't know. I don't know.
But let's talk about the process of making this album. You know, I know one of the songs we was talking about with Elijah, right?
Elijah LaFour.
Spoiled. Yeah.
Spoiled.
You was trying to tell us off the mic the process to that song, but I had to cut you off.
Indeed. For sure. I don't think I've ever told anybody this story before, but during the album making process, it was funny because a lot of people, because we went quiet for a second, and I feel like a lot of people, when I went quiet, they were like, nah, what you over there doing?
Yeah,
like,
you
what
being sneaky.
Yeah, like, what you over there working on? And it was a lot of people who were just like, I want to pull up to the studio and see what you got going on. Like, what you working on? When the next session? And so it was a cycle of people just coming in and out during the first half of the album making process. After we got like halfway in, I was just like, all right, I need to work, and y'all have to
You got to get out.
But one person who consistently was there pretty much for every session was Elijah LaFleur. And he would just come in and he had other stuff to work on. Like, he was just sitting in there, you know what I'm saying, kicking it. And the day that we made Spoiled, I remember Eli was sitting in there. I had written my verses. I just couldn't come up with a hook. And so I'm sitting there kind of racking my brain. And Eli got up and he was like, I got something. I was like, okay, go lay it. And he went in and laid it. And I was just like, oh, that's fire. That's literally exactly what we needed. You know what I'm saying? And then I think I wrote the the explode right here. Like
After
no, I had already written that and I was trying to figure out what to fill it with, and then he came back around with those portions, and I was like, that is the perfect accent to all of this.
Dang.
Yeah.
What would you consider? I mean, all the tracks is dope. We know this, okay? But what would you consider to be the most important song on this album?
The most important song, it might be Trophies. Trophies is the climax. Trophies is the one that wraps and ties in the theme. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Trophies was the last song we made. The album didn't become complete until we put Trophies on it. So I think that alone makes Trophies the most important song. And it's one of those songs where when you talk about the album as a whole and what it means and the dichotomy of the different messages we're trying to tell, it encapsulates all of it in one song. I was just like, all right, we did it.
Congrats,
my boy.
Congrats, my boy.
We did it. I want to know, like, what song on there that you listen to and you would be like, damn, that's me.
I made that. Wow.
Like, damn, I can't believe I said that.
There are a few of them, honestly. Like, there was a point where we just got into a zone. Like, what I am most proud of in this album is the songwriting. Josie told me when he first heard the album all the way through, he was just like, I feel like you have mastered the craft of making a moment in a song, which is something that's very important to me. I feel like all of my favorites have done it. Kanye is the best at it. Kanye knows how to make a moment in a song, whether it's with production, whether it's with something he said or a witty bar, like he know how to do it. And that's why people have loved his music for years, you know what I'm saying? And in that same way, I've always wanted to do that. Like, how do I make something? Because everybody isn't enamored with the fact that you just rap really well. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to get everybody. But if you make a moment that's undeniable, that's polarizing, something that gets stuck in somebody's head, or a melody that's just like, oh, this is catchy, you got them. Like, now you've captivated somebody. And so hearing Josie say that was really, really dope to me. Songs like Ghosted, because Ghosted I didn't write.
What?
I freestyled it.
Whoa!
Wait, so there's no paper, no.
So the first verse of Ghosted, I sat down, I hummed a melody all the way through, sat and listened to the melody, and that was the only thing that I actually had. And then I came back through and I just went in and did like the Lil Wayne method. Like, I went line by line and was just
yeah.
Keep going. That
Push
was the first
me
time
in.
Yeah, literally. Punch me in.
Time out. You telling me you didn't write none of this?
No.
This is all off of experience. What's your ghosting? What's
Did you ghost somebody or somebody ghost
Let's
you?
talk about ghosting.
It's usually me.
What is your process of ghosting?
It's very swift and to the point.
Oh.
It's usually
Is it days? Is it weeks? Or is it hours?
Nah, like when it happens, that's it. Like, it ain't
you ain't
like
even
follow up. Like,
you don't do cause I do it like a Monday. I might wait 5 hours. Then Tuesday I might wait 6 hours.
For sure.
And then Wednesday is about 7. About time that next Monday come, I'm gone.
For sure.
I done faded out.
I feel that.
You power off.
Yeah, like effective this date immediately. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Cut off.
Yeah. Your bill was not paid.
You do not collect $200. Go to jail. I like that.
That's the old me, though.
Yeah, okay.
That song
Oh my God.
But on a serious note, though, I think
Don't date rappers.
On the real.
On a serious note,
Look, Jones got all the. Hey, he said he wanted to be your. What is it?
Hey, I'm gonna be his interpreter. You feel me? Hey, listen, whatever he needed, I'm there. Hey, listen, I'm there.
I do want to ask you too regarding the process. Is it true? We all know that. Damn. All right. Maybe it is true. But we all know that when it comes to your songs, your music, you use no profanity.
Right.
And to my knowledge, any artist that's featured on the song also don't use profanity. Correct. Or if you feature on a song, is that true? That like no one can use profanity when they're on a record with you?
Yep.
See, I knew when a picture fell, I knew it.
That was God saying, yeah, that's my boy. You did it.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on why you like to keep things as professionally clean as possible?
Yeah, absolutely. I think part of it is just the fact that in terms of my own personal belief system, I have to be able to stand behind anything that I create on. You know what I'm saying? And I know knowing that I don't use profanity, knowing that I like to make my music accessible to everybody, knowing that I just feel like it doesn't represent me well. Like, it's kind of something that I have to draw a line on. And I always tell people, even when I am approaching people to feature on one of my songs, or if they're approaching me, like, I never want to sully your artistic integrity. So if you feel like that's just not something you can get down with, it's no hard feelings. I'm not gonna feel no way. Like, I respect you and what it is you want to do with your art. But I have to stand by mine too.
Right.
And there have been times where people have been like, I don't know if I could do that. And that's cool. Ain't changed the relationship.
Right.
But it's something.
What about the opportunity?
What, in terms of like having opportunities and then having to walk away?
Yeah.
So here's why I am very okay with just saying I'm good. The first time I ever had an opportunity where I had to present that was with Wyclef. The first time that he wanted to put me on a song, there was cursing on it. And I was like, all right, this is the first big opportunity I've had with an artist that's established ever. And it was one of them things where I was a little intimidated. But also, you know what I'm saying, you stand behind what you believe. Like, that's what integrity is. And I know it wouldn't have sat right with my spirit if I didn't. You feel me?
Yeah.
I think that's dope, though. I think that's dope. You have that. A lot of people in the industry doesn't have those type of boundaries, and they don't stand for a lot of things. And I think that's what makes it so, you got a mystique to yourself, to where people have to respect what you do and how you carry yourself. A lot of people don't carry themselves with that same type of respect. So when artists come into your world, they gotta respect
your world.
They gotta respect it. You know what I mean? And I think it also challenges them creatively. And you know what I mean? And if you ain't ready to get creative, then don't come around artists.
It's funny because I feel like a lot of the homies who, like, I put that restriction on, immediately afterwards, they'd be like, no, that was actually kind of fun, and I think it challenged me, and I think that was really dope.
Yeah.
There's a homie of mine, I'm not going to credit this to me, but if you've noticed, can I say this? I hope he don't feel mad if I say this. But if you notice, if you listen to a lot of Dende's music now, Dende doesn't curse in a lot of his music anymore. And not because of me, but because he's understanding for himself that, like, a lot of the songs that he's writing, one, in terms of having to have multiple versions of it, he don't have to do that no more, and it's pushing his pen a little bit more. So it's you know what I'm saying? It's not as hard as people think.
And speak on that. And Dende, your pen game,
Incredible.
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 Because that last album,
Incredible.
Now,
Incredible.
I lost my voice in that concert. I lost my voice in that singing.
Yeah.
Speaking of let's speak of Dende, because he was at Sub T, and you came on to do a song. And in this song that I never heard before, like most of the songs on this album that you've been around the city performing that I never heard before, was another song you performed. And I'm listening to this song, and I'm listening to every word in this song, and you're gradually taking us through school. From elementary, high school, and college, even to when you auditioned for the show on Netflix. Dog, you articulated so much within that song, dog. Like, from you rapping and chants and that in the third, like, how much time did it take for you? What matter of fact, what was the process of even writing that?
Are you talking about Poster Child?
Yes.
That was the hardest song to write for this entire album. Poster Child was the hardest song to write.
And you know what? Wait, before
Let's go to break.
Before we get into that, let's go to a break, because, man, is your business struggling? Trying to get your followers up? No problem. You can advertise with us right now. Tap that link above. Now let's get back to the show.
We was talking about Poster Child before we went before we went to break, right? And I was saying, like, first time I heard it was at the show with Dende. And I was like, shit. Like, he pieced it up so together where you be like, yo, this motherfucker just told a whole story. He gave you beginning, middle, and end.
Indeed.
Like, what is, like, for me, I'm not a rapper. I tried it. It's not my thing, right? You as an artist writing that, like, what was the process like?
That felt like I've never really written a book before, but I would imagine that process feels like a microcosm of what it's like to write a book, because there were so many drafts and edits and revisions. That song was so hard to make, and I think it's because of the amount of the story that I was trying to tell in that song. Because like even in terms of where we place it in the track list, like I wanted it for anybody who was just tuning in to understand how we got here. Right? So there were versions of the song, like the first version we ever made was a song called Rap Star, and it had a second half called Knock. And I thought it was cool. It kind of told the story, but it just didn't fit.
Okay.
And that's something I want to bring up. While we were working on this album, the sequencing sounds the way it does because me and Ro sat and we did not settle. Like, there were plenty of songs where we sat and heard them and we were like, these are cool. They're good. They're good songs. They fit, but they don't leave an impact. These are not impact tracks. And so, though they were good, we had to go, nah, we settling. If we know this is not making an impact, then we settling. Try again. So I think we didn't get to Poster Child until 4 or 5 times through me trying to write that.
Was that draining for you? Was it frustrating?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, that song specifically, that was super frustrating. Because it's my story. Why can't I share my story? Why can't I tell my story? You know what I'm saying? But it was because I wasn't comfortable. I think it's because I wasn't comfortable being vulnerable yet. This album taught me to be vulnerable. That's why all the songs are as in-depth as they are. And to be real, I feel like there's still another layer I can peel back and go even deeper. But this was my introduction to that, into really getting comfortable being vulnerable and telling my story as who I am.
What made you know when you finally got the 5th one out the way? When did you know, like, we ain't got to do 6. I got it.
This is done.
I think it was when I was content, when I felt like, no, I really told my story. Like, I told how we started, what it was like in the interim, and it tells all the key moments you need to know for us to get to right here. And it don't feel like I skimped. It don't feel like dang, I wish I could have fit this in. Or, like, this feels like... Because you can get from point A to point B, but there can be a lot of fluff in between. Right. It didn't feel like that. It felt like very succinct and to the points I was trying to...
It was like very important details in between the beginning and then in between that. The people that you named in the song that you were talking about in the song, have they heard it?
For the most part. I sent it over to Taylor.
Okay.
I sent it over to Taylor like a couple of days before the release party. Because I was going to make him just wait until he got there. But we ended up talking on the phone a little bit before, and I was just like, hey, bro, I got a surprise. Like, here.
What was his thoughts on it?
His exact words were, if I would have heard this at the release party, I probably would have cried.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And he really enjoyed it.
That's dope as fuck, man.
I mean, since we on the topic of Taylor, we speaking on Taylor Bennett.
Taylor Bennett.
Just a little context is okay. You know, you highlighted Taylor. Like, y'all went to school together?
Yeah, we went to grade school together.
So y'all went to grade school together. You said you heard him freestyle. This is in the song, everybody.
Yeah,
this is in Poster Child. This
is all documented.
It's all in the song.
So y'all went to school together. You heard him freestyle.
Yeah.
Which kind of got you interested. And then you also popped out. You learned that his brother rap, which is Chance the Rapper.
Yep.
And that got you interested in more. You know what I'm saying? From this album here, if I'm not mistaken.
That album there is very pivotal to like rap for me in general. It's very crazy because today is actually a special day for that album.
I feel like Nardwar for some damn reason.
That's crazy.
Doot. But yeah, we celebrating Acid Rap today. It's the 10th year anniversary. got my vinyl, went to Wonder Museum,
That's
and
so
whole
fire.
time I was wondering about Poster Child. Like, yo, this
Yeah.
man talked about this.
Yeah.
And like, how has Taylor and Chance inspired or at least motivated your career?
With Taylor, it's funny because when me and Taylor were kids, when we first met each other, we actually were not friends and we didn't like each other.
You said that in the song too.
Yeah.
We were not the best of buds. Taylor plays a lot, and when I was a shorty, I was very standoffish. So that didn't bode well. Somewhere around 8th grade, I understood that he was just playing, and that's just who he is, and I was just like, oh, okay, I get it now. And then we ended up actually establishing a relationship. So seeing Taylor freestyle in school, that was the first time I had seen other people around my age who were like taking music seriously. Because to me, it was taboo. Like people don't rap for real. Like, that's not a career. You
Right.
just do that in your spare time at home. For me, like with your brothers when you get bored. And then I saw him doing it, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fire. And then through him, I was introduced to Chance's music, and immediately it resonated so heavily. And I think it was because, one, I was just getting into rap around 7th and 8th grade. Common was and still is my favorite rapper to current date because everything I heard was stuff I was familiar with. Like, it was the communities I was in. It was the city. It was things I knew. Hearing Chance rap, I was just like, not only is this stuff that I know, but it's current. Like,
Right. It's right now.
like, yeah, you're in my age bracket. Like, I'm watching and seeing the things that you're describing in real time. Then to see his ascension into who he became, it's like, oh, like this can actually happen. Like, you can really rap for a career and do this. Because I didn't have any real examples of that outside of the Yays and the Commons and people who were intangible to me.
Right. But to have somebody that's right there.
Like, I can go up the street and see Chance at Reggie's, you know what I'm saying? Or at the time I could.
Yeah.
Yep, Lincoln
Like,
Hall, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Yep.
It was just crazy and very eye-opening for me.
I mean, I just got a little brain fart, but it's gonna come back to me because I wanted to bring up the topic of damn, yeah, I just got a brain fart. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna jump into a quick music break, my brother. What song do you want to hear, Ausar?
Let's see. Let's do the good old favorite. You got a Don't Date Rappers?
Oh, I got Don't Date Rappers and Don't Date Rappers Part 2. I split it. I split it so people could get you dig.
Yeah.
That's what you want to get into. I mean, tell a little bit about Don't Date Rappers because the head's going crazy.
Yeah, man. You know, indeed.
Get you one.
Get you one. Pick you one. I don't know if we even got any left at this point. We got a couple left. All right, we got some left. Y'all still get some. Beautiful. Grab you
Let
one.
them know where they can get them from.
AusarMusic.com. That is where you can grab me. AUSAR if you don't know how to spell my name.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, Don't Date Rappers is autobiographical. It is the story about how, well, the first half is about some real experiences I've had where I felt like women were only interested in talking to me because they knew I rapped and they could see things were moving. They were just like, oh, there's potential here. So I'm gonna see what's to it. And that's annoying. And then the second half is about how rappers are not the best choice for romantic partnerships.
But you made it clear too, though, that you got to understand it. Like, if you can understand it, a rapper, you know, you good.
Yeah, well, you're not good, but you're better.
Is it hard to date as a rapper?
Yes, 100%. I think it's harder for the people who are dating us than it is for us, though. Like, for us, it's hard because the time management it takes to actually have a healthy relationship is hard for anybody, but for an artist, and artists usually typically are also just not well organized. It's doubly hard for us.
I am definitely not. I'm not an artist, but I am not organized.
You're an artist.
Yeah, we are. This mic
you're
here,
artists.
we creating art.
Yeah.
I'm something like a rapper then. Holla at me.
Yeah, something like that. You feel me? We'll be right back after this break, and the brain fart's over too. So
Beautiful.
Got you. We coming right back after this
Write
break.
that shit down.
It's Illinois. I hear it. It's iLLANOiZE Radio. Do us a favor and yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button. Make sure to tap that notification bell as well so you can stay updated. Now let's get to the video. Back from the break, I had a brain fart, right?
Oh, good, man.
And I let it out.
It was stinking too. Stinking brain fart.
But now I'm back, and we were talking about like Chances and Taylors, you know, and how they inspired you or how they motivated you. And I wanted to ask you more so on like the route that Chance took. You know how when it comes to labels, he's more so on the independent route. Is that something you're looking to kind of like dabble in yourself, is mainly kind of stay independent, or are you still open to possibly inking?
I see what you did there.
You know what I'm saying? Inking a deal.
Yeah, for sure. I think I am open. It just has to make sense. I think there is a lot riding on the movement that we've built, right? Like, I want to be able to maintain the artistic integrity that we've built. I want to make sure that whatever situation we're in, like, it's not only right for me, but it's right for everybody involved who's on my team. And that it just makes sense holistically. I don't ever want to be so thirsty to just hop into something that is not the right decision. But you know, if anybody out there want to throw a bag and it look right and they understood, I think that's also very important to me. Making sure whoever we get into business with understands who I am, what my brand is, like what it is I and we stand for. You feel me?
Hey, Jones, can you translate that?
Hey, don't come over here with that bullshit. You hear me? Don't come over here with that bullshit. We ain't for none. Don't get this shit twisted. This ain't that, Joe. You hear me? This ain't that.
Hey.
I got people. Listen, I got my guys. They
You
here.
feel me?
They gotta eat.
We all gotta eat. I eat, they eat. You heard me?
Indeed.
I mean,
And we don't. Hey, we ain't with that goofy shit over here.
it's funny because he's so on point. He's working. He's trying to
With
get
less explicatives, that is essentially the point.
See, that's what you for. I'm here to put emphasis on what you saying. That's it.
But
I
he
got
has the essence of what I mean. That was exactly it.
I got you.
I mean, but what would be a matter of fact, before I ask that,
Yeah.
has any opportunities came your way where you kind of seen some things like, nah, not yet.
Yeah. I think we've had plenty of opportunities where people have reached out, and not even just with label situations, just with partnerships and people wanting to work together where it could have worked. You know what I'm saying? It could have been beneficial for us, but it just didn't align. And I think I am very fixated on making sure I'm not making a decision because it's there for me. I'm making the right decision or the decision that's for me. So, yeah.
And it's not, the way I look at it too is like, you're the type of person, you don't just think about yourself. No. You look at the whole spectrum of things. I mean, everybody's worked hard on this album, man. So I gotta know too, like what's the right deal for you, or what's something you will want to negotiate that will be in your contract?
Well, I know my team can't go nowhere. That's first and foremost. Like with what we've been able to build by ourselves, there would literally be no reason for anybody to try to come in and change any structural detail of what it is we're doing. Like
Facts.
that is a non-negotiable for me. I think in addition to that, whatever I get into, I would want it to be like comfortable enough to whereas the people around me can only have to worry about like working on us stuff. Ain't no more 9 to 5s. Like just focus on this.
This is the 9 to 5.
Yeah, this is the 9 to 5.
I got enough bread. We can pay all our rents. We
You
got
feel me?
And insurance.
And insurance, because that's important.
Yeah,
Look.
benefits.
Yeah.
Benefits is most important.
Yeah. And then branding wise, like there's a lot of stuff that I don't do or align myself with just due to my personal belief system. So understanding that like I am gonna be a lot more rigid on maybe even a lot of the partnerships you might want to bring my way, because if it don't align with who I am, I can't do it. So yeah, somebody who truly understands that.
Look, whether it come or whether it don't, you in good space, my brother. Good space, good company. Your team is magnificent.
They the best.
Man, we got Will in the background.
Indeed.
Eva's here.
Messed up her whole name.
Ava is
Ava.
here.
Yeah,
I'm
Ava.
sorry.
No, you all good.
Now I feel bad. Let me shoot myself. Damn, I'm sorry, Ava, my bad. But I mean, overall, my brother, project super solid. It's been in heavy rotation. Y'all, matter of fact, to further support, go buy the album.
Yeah,
iTunes is still around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Go buy the album, then go buy a hat.
Yeah, I was just finna say that merch
Yeah,
is
man.
available. Help this brother out, because y'all don't I was an artist, and I understand how to further project your career. You need money, and the way you get that is by running them streams up and buying the artist merch, and make sure y'all go buy tickets to the events and things of that nature. And speaking of events, Taste of Chicago.
Taste of Chicago.
Yeah,
September 8th.
How does that feel, man?
It's so cool. Because it's an event that I used to beg my mom to take me to when I was a shorty. Mostly because I was greedy and wanted food. But to be able to come back around and perform at it is fire. And for the first time ever, I kid y'all not. You know, for a lot of people, especially in the older generations, what it is you do doesn't resonate with them unless they have like a vantage point. Like this look like for my mom and my pops. They started understanding that this was serious once I started working with Wyclef, or when I took my mom, I was the spotlight artist for the Chicago Bulls, and I took her to a game. And seeing me on the Jumbotron, she was like, okay, I get it now. But the first time ever, I told my grandmother, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be performing at the Taste Chicago. She was like, oh, wow, blah, blah, blah. Like, seems like you going places. Granny? What?
Yeah, you gotta think about it. Back in the day, all the greats performed at the Taste. You was popping if you was performing at the Taste, like Parliaments, the Funk, like them her stuff. So you on the stage, oh my son, my grandbaby gonna be at the Taste.
My grandbaby made it.
You know, that felt good. That felt real good. I was just like, my granny said I made it, so can't nobody tell me otherwise.
That's a real trophy right there.
That's a real one. Congrats, my
real
boy.
one.
You did it.
I mean, even while we on the topic of trophies, before we start to conclude things, I know you're not big on accolades and things of that nature, but what is an ultimate trophy for you, or at least an ultimate accolade you would like to achieve?
Just being able to be self-sufficient off the music in itself. When I get to a point where me and my whole team is just doing this for a living, I've done it. Like, I can't. Of course, we're going to continue to strive for leaps and bounds more than just that, but I have accomplished what I set out to do when we get there.
That is a trophy.
Don't make me say it again.
Oh, my man, my boy. Yo, this was dope having you. It's like, it's been so long, man.
It has, man.
And the listening party itself was dope as hell. And to all the
Didn't
listeners,
nobody want to leave, bruh.
Man.
We sat outside the club.
They was kicking us out too.
Yeah,
They
they
was
was.
on it.
Yeah, they was on it.
They
I
was-
understand, though. We was, you know what I'm saying?
They had another event, but we sat outside.
Yeah,
till
we
like
did.
like 11:30, 12
I ain't gonna
o'clock.
lie. Also, when we sat outside that long, not to talk about them, but the next event must not have been that busting.
Yeah, because
It
it
was nobody.
Nobody popping in there.
We talking about that off. Yeah.
No shade.
No shade, no shade.
No shade. No shade. It's all love.
Yes, all love.
They could let us stay in there. We would have made the bar some money.
Some more money.
The bar would have made some money. You know what I mean? They could have put us out when they hit a nice crowd.
And if y'all actually want to check out that experience as well with Ausar and Pretty Riot, man, head over to the YouTube channel right now. Search Ausar Live. I Now Know. Go search that. It's going to pop up. Shout out to Will Goff for the amazing YouTube thumbnail, man, because I ain't know what to do. The brother, I mean, look,
We'll do everything,
man.
We'll do everything. Come on now. Come on, bro.
I need another one too, brother, because I accidentally creased this joint.
Let's shout out some of the names
go
in the front of that.
I need one too, and I need mine
Matter of
autographed.
fact, here you go.
Yeah,
I got
Real
one in my
quick.
car.
Beautiful.
If you ain't got no more in the bag.
Shout out again to the people involved. I want to shout out homie Steven, who was the person who shot the cover. Shout out L10 for actually mastering this joint, because that was incredible. I appreciate him so much for that. Shout out Will, as always. Ro was the saving grace of this project. As executive producer, I wouldn't want to do this with nobody else. And Vic, I haven't really talked about Vic, and I'm gonna do it for 2 seconds before I know y'all gotta get off
No. Do your thing. You got
Okay.
30, you got 3 minutes.
I bet. Vic was kind of like the brand architect for this entire vision. Vic came in, and when you look at my Instagram, when you look how things kind of transition when we started moving into album mode, like any changes you see aesthetically, that was all Vic. And she came in at the perfect time, and she really switched stuff up. Like, and it showed, and it was felt because people started making comments about it. Like,
Vic for Victoria?
yeah.
Okay, because when you said Vic, I was throwing off. Then
Yeah,
when you
me
said
too.
she, I was like,
Yeah. Vic, I ain't gonna say her full government name because I don't know if she wants that.
no, you ain't.
But yeah. Yeah, and just everybody else who was involved, bro. I appreciate the team. Rico, Ricky, Boots, Dupree, Shonda, Wayne, Kevin, D-Ro, J-Treb, Drew, Heavy, Everybody, I just appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Ava, I don't know if I've said Ava yet. Ava, thank you.
I know I did, but I fucked up.
He doesn't need an interpreter, y'all.
I mean, you gotta let people know how they can stay in tune with you.
Yeah,
give them the link to your site as well, so they can go scroll through, get some merch, do what they do. And again, shout out the event you got coming up at the Taste and More.
For sure. If you would like to follow me on anything, you can find me on all social media at Ausar Music, AUSAR Music. You can find me on all streaming platforms under Ausar. We got this show coming up at Taste Chicago on September 8th. If you would like to pull up and be geared up and fitted up and have on your Dende Rappers hat when you pull up, you can go to AusarMusic.com, get you one of these. It's not that many left, so do what you can. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun time. Appreciate y'all and appreciate you all for having me today. This is really, really dope.
Appreciate you taking out
Appreciate
time.
you coming,
hey,
man.
One more thing. Are we still sipping Sprite?
You know what I'm saying? I'm still rocking with Sprite.
Yeah,
I'm still rocking with them. They, you know what I'm saying? They all right in my book.
Cool, because I had a Sprite yesterday and I thought about you. I ain't had no popping so low.
Look, he thought he like, dang, I'm drinking the ops. I gotta make sure it's cool. Let me access the mob. I'm thinking I'm drinking the owl. He was about to spit it out. He was holding like this.